You've reached the Mercury Company. Press 1 for sales, press 2 for service. I'm sorry, that selection is not valid.
Water's Edge, may I take your order, please?
You understand that technology can help you be successful, but keeping up with the changes can make you feel like you're spinning out of control.
Telescan Corporation, one of the oldest suppliers of telemessaging systems, can help you manage your world. With the EarthNet line, you can offer state-of-the-art messaging features while maximizing the efficiency and productivity of your most valuable asset, the call attendant.
Telescan offers you a world of opportunities through technology. For over 20 years, under the leadership of George Meyer, Telescan Corporation has been a pioneer and innovator in the telemessaging industry. In the late 60s, George and Judy Meyer started Answering service together. In 1976, Answering was filled to capacity with concentrator identifiers, switchboards, and rows of phones. George was initially motivated by the idea there has got to be a better way to do this.
Not long after, a small white box, the Telescan 10, was invented and installed at Answering, becoming the first telemessaging system to interface with DID lines. The first run produced 10 Telescan 1 systems, which sold immediately. Everybody wanted the little blue box. The year was 1976 when the Telescan 1 replaced the switchboard. The rest, of course, is history.
In 1978, the Telescan 1 was equipped with a video screen. In 1980, the Telescan 2 included increased trunk capacity and offered a built-in keyboard. The Microscan 3 was introduced in 1983, offering electronic messaging, becoming the first paperless Telescan system. The Advantage followed in the late 80s, incorporating the latest technologies and software. And finally, in 1990, the EarthNet system embraced the computer age with its demand for instant communication.
From day one to present, Telescan's philosophy has always been to offer new opportunities through technology.
Been a Telescan user since 1978. We installed one of the first systems that Telescan ever came out with. When I first bought the system, I went to St. Louis and looked at 3 different prototypes. And at that time, they were trying to decide which color box they wanted to put it in. And they decided on a blue box.
The little blue box.
We purchased the system and went back and used that particular system for about 17 years.
It was a simple little call forwarding system that allowed us to take advantage of the DID numbers. And so we installed that, and that was our first introduction to Telescan.
We just purchased our EarthNet system, and we did research throughout the marketplace, looking at all the manufacturers out there.
I looked at different systems just to keep up with what was going on, and I couldn't match the dependability, particularly after talking with other people around the country. And so therefore I've stayed with Telescan because basically it never goes down, and that's critical.
It just works.
That was one of the first benefits. It's been wonderful. We don't have to worry about lockups. Sometimes I actually walk out the door without a pager on. Those are things that were very exciting to me personally.
In the 12 years that we've been using Telescan, I've kept pretty close track, and our total downtime for that 12-year period is less than 2 days.
We analyzed all the equipment. We ended up with the EarthNet system because that provided both the support and the equipment and the features that we needed to go into the 21st century.
As new needs come along, like you know, the increase in use of fax machines, you know, faxing capability came along for the system. Alphanumeric paging, that capability was incorporated into the system. virtually every new concern that customers have, and new way to receive messages. Telescan's met that need.
We've got about 800 answering service accounts on our EarthNet system, but we've got somewhere in the neighborhood of almost 3,000 alphanumeric accounts that we answer for and dispatch anywhere from 80 to 90,000 alpha dispatch messages a month. And Telescan was instrumental in helping me grow that business because at the time there was nobody around that could handle that kind of traffic and that kind of volume. So fortunately for me, when we had the request that we needed additional capacity and more ability, they responded, and we were able to accommodate this large number of customers that came on rather rapidly, I might add. And that's been a significant shot in the arm for us financially, obviously.
Productivity has helped tremendously. We're a lot more efficient in what we do.
Just from the old system to the new system, our productivity has gone up. We've cut staffing for shifts by about 30%.
We can't afford not to have our system running, so that's why we picked Telescan. Because it was an issue, a money issue, in that the more time I spend fooling around with my system, that's time I'm not spending signing up new clients, and that's where all of our money comes from. So it actually, my time really does have value, and I shouldn't be spending a lot of time having to play with the system that we're on. No, it's not that expensive when you consider that that's what your whole company runs on.
I think if you weigh feature for feature and advantage for advantage, you will find that the EarthNet system is an economical system to buy.
You don't have to spend any money or time worrying with the keyboard or buying particular items. A lot of things are off the shelf, so that's real nice.
We were really high on having a turnkey system, and the Telescan staff assured us and provided us with the turnkey system. Basically, it was plug and play. They came out, they rewired, they set it up, they helped us establish training programs, they trained our trainers, and basically held our hand through the initial process of setting up the new EarthNet system.
I don't know of an answering service in existence that doesn't have personnel problems, but it's an easy system to operate.
What I particularly like is the ease in training of new people, because you're going to always have some turnover. And looking at the other systems, there are too many functions for a person to have to deal with. And with the Telescan system, you can train somebody quickly, and they can operate the system easily. And that's what's important, because you can't afford to spend a fortune in training people.
We've been on the system now about a year, and we love it. As time goes on, we learn more. We've had no problems that we haven't created ourselves and that they haven't bailed us out of. We've been really pleased with everything, with the customer relations, with the equipment, with everything. Can't say enough good about them.
You can't spend your time worrying with the equipment. You've got to spend your time marketing in order for your business to grow.
One of the biggest issues for us is that it gave us some new features that allowed us to take on some accounts that ordinarily we might not have been able to handle or not handle as well.
Because of the flexibility and the being creative, we can go in and create different things that will help us to serve a customer.
And I also like the fact that I have a lot of flexibility about, now I have, most of the parameters are on an account-by-account basis rather than system-wide. The system that we had before, you were sort of locked into either you do it or you don't do it system-wide, but you don't have the option of doing it by account. So that was one very big difference for us. One of the first things that we did was coming to your users group meeting, because I wanted to make sure that the people who were already using it were happy. And we were really struck by the fact that everybody seemed to genuinely like the system that they had picked. They were really good about helping us get more familiar with what we were thinking about buying.
I think it would be the best choice if you were going to look at equipment, and I've looked, and I've stayed with it. And their people, too, are just as dependable and easy to work with as the system, and I think that's very important.
You've got to consider when you're buying a system, where you're going to be in 5 years, or where you're going to be in even 2 years. If you don't consider that, then you're not going to really benefit yourself in the long run. So as far as features are concerned, there's not enough time on this tape for anyone to sit here and tell you all of the features that are there and the things that it will do. So it's a piece of equipment that to me, what is important price-wise is that I've got something that I know that I'm going to have even 10 years from now.
I think when you're looking at Telescan, you have to look at the family. I mean, it's a family business, but even the people who are in the business who aren't family are like family, and the support you get is 24 hours a day, you know, all year round. They're there for you. You become part of the family, and I think that's important.
Well, it's just a good company, good people, a lot of continuity there, a lot of stability. The salespeople, the staff, the technical people are all long-term or knowledgeable, and they work well with people. And I don't think I've ever had an instance where I didn't get a quick response or get an answer back, and that's real comforting. I keep saying the comfort level, but that's very important, that I can pick up the phone and talk to the head guy up there, and he always takes time to take my call, and he will for anybody.